I'll hand over to you, Paul. You take it from here, mate. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Sanitary conditions here with the microphone exchange. How's everybody doing out there? Yay! Great looking crowd. So I've got the privilege this year of introducing some people very related to the band. And mainly Xsenia Živojinoviç, Alex's sister, and her daughter, Xsenia. So you guys ready to come out? Yay! Come on. Xsenia Živojinoviç. And Xsenia, her daughter.
Oh.
You guys are looking pretty good.
Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
blah, blah, blah. I've got my usual gear on. So, first question. I understand you're kind of responsible for Alex's development.
Oh, yes. But before
A little closer.
before I tell you that story, I do want to say, first of all, I do apologize, and I hope you accept my apology for the video that I posted. As unfortunately, I said the word haggis instead of haggis. I did not know that, but someone in this crowd wanted to correct me by giving me this. So I thank that person.
A haggis.
Yes, it's a haggis.
Yes.
So again, my apologies. Okay. So about the question you just asked me. I was 12 years old. My brother was 14 at the time. And my father used to get gas at a gas station called Texaco back home. And at this Texaco, they had these gift booklets. So every time you gassed up, you got a stamp and you'd put it in the book. And then once the book was full, you'd be able to trade it in and get a gift. So my father did, and he got me this little turntable with speakers on the side. And I was so excited because I was able to play the Monkees. that was my band at the time. So anyway, one day I'm looking for it, and I can't find it anywhere. And I hear Alex playing the guitar that my dad bought him, and I kind of peek in, and I see my turntable there. And I realized that he had taken it from me. So after that day passed, I went back in to claim it. I couldn't find it until I looked under the bed. So I would sort of say, because of me, he is who he is. Because he used to play... Oh, I'll tell them that one later. He used to play like Cream, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, all the bands that, you know.
Not bad.
Yeah. And self-taught. He actually self-taught himself. So that's why I take a little credit for that turntable. Yeah.
He wouldn't have learned it without those records on your record player.
Exactly.
Xsenia, having an uncle must be kind of cool, right? See some Rush fans. Oh, yeah, Alex is my uncle. Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
someone
yeah,
I was just talking to goes, I find it strange you call him Uncle Alex, because I was like, Uncle Alex this and Uncle Alex that. But to me, growing up, he was just my uncle. And how you see him in concert on the videos and the humor and the jokes, that's him at every family dinner, at Christmas dinner.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. He's funny, but I feel like we come from a really funny family. Like my grandparents are funny and my mom's funny, and we just have a really good close family, and he was raised on that, so he's always been supportive of all of us. But growing up as a kid, you know, I was born in 1980, and growing up, my friends around the playground, they don't know who Rush is, so it didn't really seem like a big deal until I was in high school or in my 20s. And it would randomly come up. I'm like, oh, my uncle's in that band. And people would freak out. And I didn't really get it until when I lived in the city, I lived close to him. So I was over there all the time. And I was visiting with my aunt, and we were chatting. And Uncle Alex just happened to wander out of the room. And a little while later, I just heard music coming from somewhere. And I said, where did Uncle Alex go? And she's like, I don't know. He's probably in the other room doing something. And so I kind of wandered off, and there he was just in the front living room with an acoustic guitar and just playing the most beautiful music. And I was like, I've never heard that before. Where what's that album is that from, or where is that from? And he's like, it's not, I'm just playing. And I said, what do you mean you're just playing? He's like, I'm just playing. I go, you've been playing for 30 minutes and it sounds incredible. Like, how do you know what to play next? And he goes, I don't know, I just play. And that's when it kind of hit me, like, there's something very different here. So yeah, it's
the talent, natural talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a good one.
So, as a teenager, I had my first job waitressing at the Pickle Barrel restaurant, and I had my tip money, which was always cash, and my hourly money was given to me as a check. So, in my dresser drawer, I used to put all my cash from my tip money. And every now and then, I would kind of go in, I want to count it, and I'd say, some of my bills are missing. Where's the other coin? It doesn't look like it's the same amount in here. So, of course, I confronted my brother and said, are you by chance going into the drawers and taking my money? And he looked at me and goes, Sal, you understand? I need it. I need to get a speaker. I have to rent one. I have to get the bus, gigs, and I need to buy a pack of cigarettes. And at that point, I looked and I said, well, you're taking far too much money for those 3 items. And he said, trust me, when I make it big, I'll pay you back. And I have to say, he has done that. He's been very generous. So yeah.
And what was he doing
paid me
with
back more
all of the
than
extra money?
So yeah, that was one of the other ones, yeah.
Xsenia, you have a cool story about a birthday.
No offense, Mom, but you didn't really do anything for me. And so... So I teasing. We got a phone call, and Uncle Alex is like, pick 2 friends. I'm coming to pick you up because it's your 16th birthday. And I said, okay. And 2 of my friends I asked to come, and he picked us up in some fancy car, which he claimed he doesn't care about fancy cars in that video, but he likes fancy cars. And he picked us up, and he owned a bar at the time in Toronto called the Orbit Room, where you could listen to great...
The Orbit Room, yeah.
Live music. So he picked us up, drove us to the Orbit Room, had the chef make one of everything, and we sat down and there was music playing, and it was super cool. And then he's like, oh, you know what, we're gonna have the tea party is gonna come. I said, oh, we're having a tea party? He's like, the band, the Tea Party, didn't know who they were. They showed up. We're having drinks, and then
Having drinks.
Oh.
16. 16. Having drinks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Busted.
now I know.
Busted.
I'm telling my brother when I get home.
Well, he did say, what do you want to drink? But anyways, we'll leave that part out. And anyway, yeah, and he got up and he played music, and it was just like one of the best experiences of my life, and he did that just so I would have a memorable Sweet 16 birthday. Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really good.
And the Tea Party is very big in Canada, so it wasn't just like, oh, some musicians.
No, they were huge.
They're
They were
a big
huge
name
at the
band,
time,
still
yeah.
playing to this day. Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
I just want to share this one because this is obviously a lot of you know that my brother has a great sense of humor. And it was back in like, I think it was 1970, and I came up to him and it was March. It was about the last week of March in 1970, and I said to him, Alex, do you think that I could join the band and be a backup singer? And he thought about it, like, he looked really serious, and he goes, that's not a bad idea. And then he says, but you got to practice. I said, okay. So like every day I'm like, I'm just whatever. and then I come to him and I said, when are we going to practice? Like, when are we actually going to do it? And he goes, what's today? And I said, like Tuesday. And he goes, no, what's the date? And I said, April 1st. And he goes, exactly, April Fools. That's a true story.
He sure let you play at least one show, and then you could say you were a member of Rush.
I don't think any of these people would be here.
Yeah, she did stay around for the karaoke last night downtown. Downstairs, I should say.
Yeah.
Any other cool stories you have, Xsenia, that you want to share?
I got a lot of stories. I don't know if I should share some of them. Yeah. No, I don't know. It was, like I said, I'm trying to think of like I guess one that was pretty interesting was on the R40 tour. So usually when we would see Rush, we would see them in Toronto, but them being a Toronto band, it's like all the family, all the friends, the record label, it's quite busy. So for the R40, I decided to go to Chicago. At the time I was pregnant, bad decision, I was huge. I don't know what I was thinking. And I went to the concert and I was so huge and I was like, ugh, I can't. So Howard, you probably know Howard, who does lighting.
Yeah, lighting, yeah. Mr. Lighting guy?
Yeah, amazing. I'm like, please, Howard, I'm dying. So I sat in the booth with them, and there was this one guy, remember, I think I was telling you this story, there was this one guy standing near the booth, and he had this shirt, and it looked like a dog ate it, it was shredded, and he was just really into the concert, and he goes, do you know the band? And I'm like, because I usually don't say it. And I go, a little bit. He goes, how do you know the band? And I was like, well, that one's my uncle. And then I was sitting next to my cousin, Alex's son, and the guy's like, no way, he's your uncle? I'm like, well, this is his son. Just throw that out there. And I said, what's with that shirt? Like, what is that? And did your dog eat it? He goes, I've brought this shirt to every Rush concert for the last, 40 years, hoping it could get signed. And I just said, and I said, do you trust me? Do you trust us? And he's like, I go, will you give me the shirt? And he goes, really? And I was like, Adrian was like, give us the shirt, right? And what's your address? And he wrote his address on a piece of paper. We took the shirt. When we were back in Toronto at dinner, we go to Uncle Alex. We're like, hey, Uncle Alex, can you sign this shirt? He goes, what is that? It was like, it's a fan's shirt? He goes, where do I even sign? Like, it's shredded. And he did, though. He signed it. And my cousin, we mailed it back to that guy. And, like, what I would give to have known that guy's,
It shows his personality, right? He's very good, very generous.
He's super generous. These
lights make you really sweat up here.
Yeah, they are. Everybody says you can't see anybody when you're on stage, and we barely can see any of you guys. Yeah. What about golfing? I think Alex is pretty serious about golfing.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the charity tournament?
Yes.
And he hit this is a little story, I just sidetrack here. So you play and you have a orange, pink ball, whatever, and everybody hits it 4 times, 2 extra ones. And if you get the pink ball at the end, you win a chance to win a big, giant TV. So I got taught a lesson because Alex hit it into the woods, about 400 yards. And but remember, I came to get another one off you, and then Alex taught me that it won't look very good, him winning a giant TV, so there goes my TV.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And Sally was running the tournament with her boss for autism, and
at the
Alex
time,
signed a bunch of records for people. It's just that type of guy, right?
Always. I'll share this with you because I think it's important for everyone to understand. People ask, why can't Alex be here? And it's not that he doesn't want to be here. It's just that there's a fine line between when you have fan organizations that are doing charity functions, because if he does it for one, he has to do it for everybody. So it gets a little tight that way. It's not like, thank you, because honestly, he's told us both, like, guys, enjoy yourself. Tell everybody hello from me. I'm sorry I can't be there, but I hope they understand why. So that's why I wanted to share this with you. Okay.
Yeah, every year he's always signed stuff, whether it be RUSHfest Scotland or RushCon or any of the one. He's always been very generous signing stuff for us. So it's not like he doesn't care or can't, he cares. And he does. And he loves signing stuff to help raise funds for charity. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Any more? Any other? You have any? One quick one, and we'll see if anybody has questions in the audience. What's your favorite Rush album?
Don't ask me the album.
We didn't rehearse this one. I'm getting in trouble. Yeah.
I was studying this before I came because I don't know. No kidding. When I was a kid, obviously everyone loves the class. Well, I'm just gonna say the songs that I love. Everyone loved Tom Sawyer's Subdivisions, Closer to the Heart, all that. But I loved Time Stand Still because there was a girl's voice. Hey! So I would pretend to be the girl when I was little.
Amy Mann. Yeah,
yes, and so I love that. That's one of my favorite Rush songs. Yeah.
And it's interesting that as you get older, how pertinent the lyrics are, right? They really hit home about. It's like, how did he write that way back then? It was so spot on, right? Yeah.
For
Sally?
me, I believe it or not, I really like the early beginning Rush, like In the Mood, Working Man, Fly By Night. Like, that was me, I know the words to those songs. But then again, they're not as long as the other ones.
Put the pressure on. I'm playing In the Mood tomorrow. I got to do a good job now. Yeah. So anybody have any questions that you might want to ask? Okay, everybody. Xsenia Živojinoviç.
I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry. See,
I'm going to do some tapping.
Steve's getting me in trouble here. Get him off the stage. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and also thank you so much for having us here.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.